Good evening. Welcome to VGPS. Day before yesterday, we discussed few questions related to data types. We discussed questions related to ID function and type function. Today also, we are going to discuss many questions related to data types. Questions on data types we are going to discuss. So, we discussed questions about ID function. ID function does what? It gets the addresses of all the objects in a program. Okay. So, moving to the next question. What is the next question? Sixth question. Write a program to convert entered number into binary format. Okay. So, let's do this function. Do this question. So, day before yesterday we discussed that we can pass variables into ID function, function name into ID function, module name in ID function, etc. Because all these are objects in Python. So, any doubts? So the next question was write a program to convert a entered number into binary format. Okay, let's save it. So it is d6.py. Okay, so we have to take an input of a number. So binary number is the variable we are taking. Okay, then integer of input enter the number you want to change. Okay, next thing is, so we entered a number. Now what we have to do, we have to change it into binary format, right? So binary is what? Something in 0 and 1 format. Binary means base of 2. It takes input in 0, 1 format. Okay. Next thing is, we have to change it into 0 and 1 format. In Python we can write in binary format using 0 B, 0 capital B, right? So we want to change an integer, a decimal format integer, into binary format. So which function do we use? We use print of bin. Bin function in Python is used to change an integer into binary format. Okay, so we will pass bin num into this function, and this binary bin function will do what? It will change the integer into base 2 format, that is into binary format, right? So let's run and check. So what it is? d6.py. Which number do we want to change? Let's enter 67. So the binary format of 67 is 0B10000011. Okay. Which function do we use to convert into binary format? Bin function. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Seventh question. Write a program to convert entered number into octal and hexadecimal format. Right. So we used bin function to convert it into binary format. The next question is write a program to convert entered number in octal and hexadecimal format. What is octal? Octal means base of 8. That is numbers from 0 to 7. Okay. Hexadecimal format means it accepts 16 characters. That means 0 to 9 in numbers in integers and A to F in alphabets. Okay. So let's solve these questions too. Shift off. Write a program to convert entered number into octal and hexadecimal format. Okay, let's save it first. It is d7.py. So the next thing is what we have to do. We have to take a input, right? We have to take a input. So number equals int of input of enter a number. Okay, then what we have to do, we have to convert it into octal and hexadecimal. So in Python, to convert numbers into octal and hexadecimal, we have oct function, comma, for hexadecimal we have hex function. Okay, we have oct and hex. So we will write what? Print. We can write in this format, right? The octal format of the number is colon, comma, oct of number. Okay, next how we can write is the hexadecimal format of the number is hex of number. Okay, so what we can do is run and check. CLS d7.py, enter a number 98. The octal format is 00142 and the hexadecimal format is 0x62. Okay, let's take a bigger input, greater input, 347. The octal format is 00533. The hexadecimal format is 0x15b. Okay, Any doubt? Let's take a negative input. Let's see what we get. Minus 99. So you get negative octal format and negative hexadecimal format, right? 00143 0 minus 0x63. So both of them are negative and the input is also negative. Hence we can give negative inputs, right? So let's take a float input. D7, floating point numbers 89.999. So what is this? Let's take a clearer look. So properties 63. Okay. So practice of D7.py. So we are going to take what? 96.345. So what we are getting is invalid literal for int function with base 10. Okay, we have taken integer, right? So we have to convert it into float first, right? Float. Then check. Let's check. CLS. Enter a number 97.99995. Float object cannot be interpreted as integer. So what it says is the oct function takes only integer as a argument. Okay, we cannot pass float as a argument in oct function. Okay, so what we can pass in oct function? Only integers are allowed. Same goes for hex. So float is not allowed. Okay. So moving on to the next question. Eighth question, right? Moving on to the eighth question, write a program to enter a float value in exponent form and use it for different calculations, right? Enter a float value in exponent form and use it for different calculations. So what is exponent form first of all? Exponent format is to the power of something. Any integer to the power of some integer. Okay, is called exponent. That is a to the power b format is called exponentiation format, right? So the question is, write a program to enter a number in exponent format and perform different calculations with it. Okay, let's make it multi-line comment, right? This is what multi-line comment. Let's save it. It is the 8.py. Okay, so what we have to do first, we have to take our input in exponent format. Exponent format is what? Floating point number. So take a e exponent number, so equal float of input enter a number. Okay, so enter a number, then we have taken a exponent format. So next what we can do is make calculations like addition. So e of num plus 456.999. We can do this, right? Different calculation is what? Arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right? So next is subtraction, equal e num minus 56.23498. Multiplication, equal e num multiplied by 54.090909. Okay, division. So division equal e num divided by 98. Fine. So let's print them now, right? So print of the addition is add. Let's do the same for subtraction, multiplication and division. Subtraction, multiplication, division, so add, then it is sub for subtract, then for multiplication, then div for division. Okay, so let's run and check. Okay, run and check. So open in CMD, so d8.py, enter a number is what? 60, 56666.98 e to the power 67. So the addition is 5.66668 e to the power 71. Okay, subtraction is 5.66698 e plus 71. Multiplication is 3.06516845848482 e to the power 73. Division is 5.78234489799591 for e to the power 69. So what e means is, specifically e means what? So e is, suppose that we have taken a number, let's take a number here. So let's take a number here then. So the number is, see, for the number equals 300.45 e to the power 3, right? So if we print, what it will print? It will print the same thing, right? But why we use e for in float is, the reason is why we use float. So why we use E in floating point number. Floating point number. So see, the variables take what? The data. The variable num is taking what? It has the value of this, right? The data. So if our value this, that means the calculation has what? 56.66666.98 to the power 67. That means 67 zeros. So if we have 67 zeros afterwards, it means what, right? It means it has 6777777 of zeros coming up, right? So what it will do is to save the storage for saving all of these, we make a short form for this. That means calculate the zeros and put it in the E format, that is to the power of E. So why we use float is to save the storage, right? Storage for saving data. And see, we have saved data once, right? We inputted that much numbers once, but to call it every time and to use it every time, we can't do that, right? So, and to load them every time in the memory, it will take so much time. If we have a crore numbers in a data, then the PVM, loading them in PVM will take so much time. So to avoid that, we use E. To avoid extra memory wastage. Okay, let's make it into multi-line comments, right? Moving on to the next question. So what is the next question? Can we represent float values in binary, octal and hexadecimal? As we discussed before, binary, octal and hexadecimal are not allowed in floating point numbers. We can, the bin function, the octal function and hexadecimal function usually take integer as a argument. That's fixed. So we can't take float as a argument, okay? So answer of this question, ninth question, is no. That we cannot represent float values in binary, octal and hexadecimal, okay? So the 10th question is write a program to perform all the operations with complex data types. Okay, this question is easy, so let's complete it in once. So write a program to perform all the calculations using complex data type. So let's input a complex number. So comp is the variable for complex. So com of complex, then input, then enter a number, enter a complex number, right? Then we have what? You have to do what? Perform the calculations. Basic calculations are addition, subtraction, arithmetic operations, right? So what we can do is, then let's save it first. d10.py. So the next thing is, we entered the number, then perform the calculations. So add, then com plus 56. plus 67j. Then subtraction equal com plus 56 minus 98 7j. Fine. Then multiplication equals com into what we have to do, 56 plus 20 plus 30j. Then division equal com into division, right? Division. So 45. We can do anything, right? If we pass only the real part, it will perform the calculation only with real part and then leave the imaginary part, and if we pass the both, it will take all of them and perform calculation with both of them. So 45, right? Or we can take 4 also. Let's print them then. Print, then firstly add colon space comma, what is add, then comma, then subtract, right? Subtraction, then colon, then space, then comma, sub, then comma, then multiplication small, then colon, then space, then comma, then multiplications. Then same goes for divs, colon space, then comma, then div, and then separator. We will pass a separator. Sep equal, what we can pass is space, comma. Okay, let's run and check. So CLS, then D10. Okay, D10 comma PY. So complex number is 30 plus 20j. So the addition is 86 plus 87j. Subtraction is 86 minus 77j. Multiplication is only 1300j. Division is 7.5 plus 5j. Okay. Division is given in brackets, parentheses, right? So multiplication is 1300j. So what is 1300j? Why it is 1300j? It takes the formula of complex numbers, right? Like this, like a plus j to b plus hj, right? And for j square is j square equals -1. So this leads to the result of 1300j. Okay, any doubts? If not, then so we completed all the 10 questions, and if you have any doubts, please ask. If not, then we will end this session here. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good day.